back to RPMbassy. Mark did last week, did Sade, which is great because I was going to do that one, so I'm a bit jealous about that. But I returned this week, and the band I'm going to be talking about, they're an amazing band. They've only done a couple of albums I really liked. And there's a reason, because they've just released something called The Age of Consent, the remixes. And the album I'm talking about is Bronski Beat's Age of Consent. So Age of Consent was a debut album by Bronski Beat with Steve Bronski, Larry Steinbach and Jimmy Somerville, released on London Records in October 1984. This is the only album that features Jimmy Somerville, because obviously then he left and he got new singers after that, even though I did like the first album they released, Hit That Perfect B-Boy, after this. But this is such an outstanding album. The reason why I really like this album is because in 1984, many European countries had reduced the age of consent for homosexual acts to 16. But it remained at 21 in the UK, having only been partially decriminalised in 1967, which is outrageous to think that now. Homosexuality was not legalised in Scotland, which is insane. Obviously, Jimmy Somerville, coming from Scotland, must have had a hard time, and that was decriminalised in 1981. So a couple of facts there for you. The wording of the legislation to decriminalise also included wording that placed restrictions such as making illegal the use of hotel rooms for sex. Homosexuality was further stigmatised beyond the restrictions placed on homosexual individuals, and homophobia was a danger to gay individuals. And I do remember it was there was a lot of stuff going on in the early 80s. I mean, I'm 55, so I was quite young, and I still remember, because I travel quite a lot with my family and things, and I do remember there's a lot of stigma, and I remember hearing a lot of stuff about the age of consent. But it's crazy to think that it was still 21 in 1984. It was still 21. That's fucking outrageous. Against the background, so you have Bronski, Steinbach, and Somerville met in Brixton in 1983. Brixton was an amazing place in 1983 as well, and soon formed Bronski Beat. They signed a recording contract with London Records in 1984 after only doing 9 gigs. I mean, how incredible is that? To do 9 gigs and be signed by London Records, which is a big label, still is a big label now. The album itself was produced by Mike Thorne. The recording sessions took place in London and New York City. Amazing, 9 gigs, signed a contract, off to New York, record the album. But the first single, Small Town Boy, was recorded at the Garden Studio, which is owned by former Ultravox singer John Fox. Maybe I have done some videos on his Metamatic album and stuff. They're based in London, basically. And I think Jimmy Somerville moved to London at the time. But Small Town Boy is such an iconic record. I have spoke about it. It had the 35th anniversary come out. I have done the video on that. For me, it was such an iconic record, and it was an important record for me. Just like this is an important record for me as well. The inner sleeve of this album, yes, you got the photos on one side of the band, but the inner sleeve you have the lyrics, but you also had, I mean, I can't see this now. As I get older, when I was younger I could see this, but I can't see this now, it's way too small. But it gives you a list of the age of consent in all different countries. And I remember reading this when this album first came out, and I remember just thinking, wow, it's like, to be a gay person in different countries means different things. And for me at the moment, it seems to be going backwards when it comes to homosexuality, homophobia. It's just rife at the moment, and this was such an important record at the time, and it still is an important record. It still speaks large amounts, now. Such an important record. If you haven't heard it, please go and check it out. Check out the lyrics. This band, it's a brilliant album, Age of Consent. So that was the Age of Consent. So this video is not about this album. I'm just giving you a background on the album Age of Consent. I'll give background on Bronski Beat, how important they were to the gay community, and also especially the London gay community scene, and Scotland. Jimmy Somerville come from Scotland. How it was still illegal until 1981, which is I still find insane. They did release a 40th anniversary of this album on London Records last year, but now they've just released The Age of Consent Remixed, which is great, a great record. I've been waiting for this because I knew this was happening, because my production partner in Punx Soundcheck, Kinky Run, is also, it goes under the name RSF, and he's done 2 mixes for this, so I've known this has been coming for a long time. He's so stingy though, he didn't give me a copy. No, he hasn't given me a copy, but I went and bought this, and it's Forbidden Fruit, and it's the Age of Consent remix. So songs with Age of Consent remixed by the Knox. You got the Super Chumbo mix. I'm going to go into each of the mixes anyway. Kinky Ronan, Gareth Jones, and more. All versions on vinyl for the first time, which is insane. The back is very much like the back of the original album. Very much the same. My only if I had to find something a bit rubbish about it, I mean, that's such an iconic work, especially the kind of these little things in the background. I wish I'd done something around this. I'm not so keen on this, even though it looks good. You've almost got the font is slightly raised. I suppose you've got the shapes in the background with this. I didn't realise that was the shapes there. I'll take that back. I actually quite like this. I didn't realise. I thought they would just put some dots on in different colours, but actually it's the same shapes as the album cover. So I do like this. Obviously the hype sticker. And then you've got the remixes on the back. You've got remixes from Super Chumbo. It's always Tom Stefan, who I'm a huge fan of. A great remix and little guest vocals from Neil Tennant from Pet Shop Boys as well. You've also got Small Town Boy, the Bronski beat, and Knox featuring Perfume Genius extended mix, which is really good. They kind of break it down just that little bit more. So I really like that mix. The Junk mix, which is great. Love and Money, which is the RSF, which is another name. Kinky Ronan, which is the Metropole. There used to be a club in Berlin called the Metropole. And Kinky Ronan, we used to go there as a kid. He knows that sound, so he's created RSF to kind of recreate the sound of the Metropole. So this is one of the Metropole Italo mixes, and it's insane. It's brilliant. And then you've got on the B side, you've got Need a Man Blues, RSF Metropole Energy mix. So there's two. There's the Italo mix and there's the High Energy mix, and both of them insane. I mean, even though he's my production partner, I do rate these two mixes. It's so my sound. And then you've also got I Feel Love, Love to Love You Baby, the Ultra Mix with Marc Almond. Now this didn't appear anywhere. I think this is like a really rare mix. So it's really good to kind of hear it for the first time. I've never heard this mix before. And to have it on vinyl for the first time. And then you've got Johnny Remember Me with Marc Almond as well. I mean, Marc Almond's iconic. We're all massive fans of Marc Almond, and just so good to have Mark and Jimmy Somerville on the same track. But overall, I'm really impressed with this. I love it. I've got it on vinyl. Now, the CD has a load more kind of versions of it, which is really good. Now, the inner sleeve I really like, and I don't know why they didn't do anything with this. The inner sleeve, you've got this iconic photo of the bands. They're very young, so this is obviously early on. And then on the back you've got all the kind of credits, and again you've got that kind of colour speckly like you had at the front. The vinyl itself, I know this has come out in clear vinyl. I couldn't find a copy. It was a limited run, so I've just got the normal black version with the pink labels as well. But there is a clear version of this, and if I do find it, and I will pick that up because I have listened to this quite a lot over the last kind of few weeks since I've bought it. Every mix is a killer, a great album, and it's good to have my friend on there doing the remixes as well, so I can brag about it. But anyway, that is Bronski Beat, Forbidden Fruit. It's the Age of Consent, all remixed by people like Super Chumbo, RSF, and more. All versions on vinyl for the very first time, which is great. Get yourself a copy. It is available on clear vinyl somewhere, but a great album. If you don't know the original album, have a listen to that first. That's Bronski Beat, Age of Consent. A very, 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 very important record. So go and check that out, and thank you very much for listening.